YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the Full Mechanics 1/48 scale Kenbu from the Kyoukai Senki series. Now, for those who don't know, I really enjoyed the first part of the Kyoukai Senki series, season 1, assumably. I believe this year they're going to release the rest of the half part of the series, so I'm really looking forward for that as well. Now, I was really looking forward for this kit because I was really looking forward ever since the Kyoukai Senki series started, because I was originally going to get the 1/72 scale, but after learning that they were going to release a 1/48 scale, a larger version, I was waiting for this to happen as well. So right off the bat, I would like to mention that this was a very fun kit, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, not because you're as a fan, but as people who like to build kits, I think you're going to enjoy this kit to some degree as well. So anyway, let's get on to the review right away. So I would like to mention right off the bat, for this, if you buy this currently, you should be getting also a bonus part or a bonus plate that includes some clear parts for certain areas like the legs, the back skirt. You do get some parts for the head, but according to the manual, some of these parts are crossed out because you can't really complete that part. But still, it's really up to you to use it. Now, I'm not much of a clear piece type person, so I decided not to use these as well, because to me, I wanted to try out or get the actual Kenbu itself, so which is why you're seeing it like this. And once again, also for those who are going to buy this, just expect that you are able to make 3 variations. So for those who have seen the series, you might have seen like 3 states of the Kenbu in the anime. So around like episode 1 and 2, the Kenbu was incompleted. It was operational, but not exactly combat ready. So for those who remember, I believe it was this side of the shoulder that did not have any armor plate on it, but it still had the inner frame. And then on the other side of the shoulder, there was no shoulder part, so you just had the joints there. So, and then there were no weapons, but instead you get this part as well. So this was there's no mention specific name, but according to the manual, it's just like shield with short blade. So you get this part as well, and you do get the original arm for the Kenbu, because currently IMA basically made the third state where he has this claw arm onto his left arm. But yeah, so there are variations that you can make here as well. So just wanted to point that out. All right. And yeah, even the manual does mention this, so if you do want to make that, because there are some parts that you need to do. So once you complete the Kenbu, once again, on the right side, take off the armor plates and then attach this hook kind of thing here. And then on the other shoulder, you just literally disassemble everything as far as I know until you get the joint. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting concept there. And let's see what we get for components. So here are some sticker sheets. Here is a sticker decal sheet, nothing too special about that. And then here we have a sticker sheet here. So these are not your typical sticker. These are like kind of one of those plastic-ish stickers. So they're kind of stiff. So, and they're really easy to fly off when you're peeling them off. So be careful. So you get 2 variations here. You get a green color and a red color. So obviously the red color throughout the anime, if like the leg, for example, these parts, if they're not fully charged up or if there's a problem, they would glow red. So if you want to go with that aspect, go with that. But if it's operating with no problem, then it glows green. So which is why I decided to go with green. Now, of course, in the last part of the anime that we saw on the first part, there was like a super mode, or the kind of like a, how should I say this? There was basically the Kenbu was able to unlock a certain mode where he would become much more faster, but once again later drain all of his energy. But still, I believe this is there's no way to actually replicate that for now. But still, I'm glad that they actually gave you two options for the stickers. And here are your other components. So number 1, the hands might annoy some people, because the hands, you don't swap out hands, but you actually swap out the entire hand guard without the joint here. So obviously we get 2 trigger finger hands because we have a gun there. We have two of those, and then we get 2 fully open hands for posing. And then currently the one on the kit here are pretty much the multi-purpose hands, and you can also use those as the fists. Alright, so other than that, let's see what we got for weapons. So here is the backpack that you can store in the weapons here. Oops, sorry about that. So yeah, the gun is slightly heavy here, so it does kind of ruin the balance of the backpack still, but we do get the gun and the sword, or katana if you want to say it. And the gun can, like the HG kit, you can remove the ammo clip if you want to do so. Now, any specific names here, this is called the 60mm portable auto cannon, and then the heat the sword is called the Superheated Vibrating Straight Sword. So for those who have seen the series, should be aware that these blades do heat up. So just be aware if you want to replicate that. You can always color these parts like in either metallic red or orange going on. So yeah. So we'll put that aside now. So here is the actual other side of the arm. So currently I'm using the claw arm right over here, so I'll be demonstrating that later. But if you want to have both arms to look the same, you can do that. And if you're going to make the incomplete stage of the Kenbu, then you have to take this part off, and then you can slap this part here on here, and there you go. So I don't, some people might actually like this weapon, just saying so. And here is that small part here I was talking about. If you're going to make the incomplete stage, you have to attach this hook area, this kind of loop area onto the shoulder for some reason, but still that's there. And we also get a small pilot figurine that he's kneeling. So this thing does actually have an opening cockpit and actually does have a pilot figure. Now the main reason I was kind of curious why they gave this specific figure. So apparently you can also do a kneeling pose with the Kenbu and also replicate this, so as if the pilot is on an elevator. So you're supposed to, this is supposed to be like an elevator kind of thing according to the manual. So the pilot can get on the elevator like this. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So you can leave it like this, and then so the pilot can actually reach towards the cockpit like that. So that's the basic gist of it as far as I understood it. So that's how it works. Alright, so now let's get on to the actual kit here. So now the kit is slightly bigger than I expected. So my setup, my filming setup was a little bit tricky to take pictures and make videos out of. So before we go on to articulation, let's do a quick comparison. So a lot of people are wondering how the size of this kit is. So, and this is 1/48 scale. Now keep in mind, a lot of us who are who's pretty new to the hobby are just pretty much putting our standards on Gunpla. But just because it's HG doesn't mean it's always 1/144 scale, or just because it's mass grade doesn't mean it's always 1/100 scale. It's just the skill happens to be that in that grade. So yeah, keep that in mind. So here is a typical master grade. Here's the Premium Bandai exclusive Master Grade Gym 2 Eagle Colors, which is a pretty much a regular or standard master grade size here. And then here we have a typical HUC kit. Here is the HUC Gym Sniper 2, which is also 1/144 scale. So as you can see, yeah, the 1/48 Kenbu is much larger in terms of the kit. And keep in mind the legs, because of the leg structure, this thing can go technically higher in terms of height if you want to do so. Now this is how it is in kit wise, but if it were to be the exact same scale, if it were to be 1/1 scale, obviously the Kenbu would be much smaller. So keep that in mind. Alright, so let's see what we got in terms of articulation. So as I mentioned, the only stickers that you actually apply are these. There's no other stickers. So everything you see here, other than those stickers, are all color separated parts, which was very impressive. Alright, so let's see what we got. So let's start with the head. Now the head, I believe the 1/72 scale was also done very well in terms of the head, like on the color separation here. But still, they did an excellent job on the 1/48 scale as well. So the eyes are obviously clear pieces. Let me just adjust a few camera stuff going on here, because sorry about that, the angle was a little bit off. So here is the head, definitely looking good. Everything you see, the yellow, the black, the white, the red, everything is color separated pieces. Even this gray, this small gray piece area right over here. So very well done. And then I believe you should have I kind of lost that piece, but you should have a extra gray piece as a leftover, if I remember correctly, or not. Let me check the box, and no, apparently there isn't. So if I could have sworn there were like a small leftover piece, but I could be mistaken. But still, it's no big deal. Alright, so the head is very well done, and you do have a middle neck joint right over here, like the HG kit, or the 1/72 scale kit. So you do get a very decent, the end connection there is a ball joint. So yeah, you do get a very decent neck articulation here. You can go up and down like that, and then look down and upwards very well. So that is extremely well done, and then 360 should be no problem as well, just for the head to rotate. Now, I did mention there is a cockpit here, so here is how it works. So I believe we have to open this side, or okay, this side. So here we have a So here we have a opening cockpit right over here. Yes, a full mechanics kit that has a opening cockpit with an actual pilot figurine inside there. In terms of Gunpla, we do have full mechanics and Reborn's 100. They don't exactly have opening cockpits, so this might be very surprising to you. Once again, I did mention on my full mechanics Calamity Gundam on what might be the standard between full mechanics and Reborn's 100 in terms of Gunpla. So keep that in mind. So this is full mechanics for the Kyoukai Senki series. We do actually have a pilot figurine here, and if you saw the clear plate there, if you want to, you should be able to have a. If you want to, you can put in a clear version of the pilot figurine if you want to do so. Right over there, yeah. But still, here we go. Yeah, small detail, pretty fun as well. Now, I believe, if I remember correctly, the 172 scale kits have this yellow part where they make you apply a sticker, so which wasn't exactly fun. And then like this yellow part here would be always a golden sticker, but they actually made a separate part for that, so that's very good. Alright, so we've seen the main head and main head. Let's look at the arms. Now the arms, once again, kind of similar structure as the 1-72 scales here. So you do have a decent forward and backward movement, but because of it's so big and large, it does give out that feeling that you have more range to that. And you can flip this section up, and then you can move the arms upwards more than 90 degrees, so that is pretty good. And then, okay, let's see what we got. And then the arms, obviously, since they are on the peg, going 360 should be no problem as well. The lower arm can technically go 360, but of course, make sure you open up the claw arms and go 360. And here is the claw arm going on here. So, oops, sorry about that. So the claw arms, they're pretty simple. These claws are connected together, so they move together as well. So if you want to replicate a few more details, I think you can also make this, you can color the blades in a heated up orange or red if you want to do so. So, and just keep in mind the Kyoukai Senkis, the Kenbu, the Jogan, or the Reiki, the way how their arm works are kind of different from Gunpla. So you have this part here that connects this large area here, and then this large area should have another joint that connects the arm. So the arm structure is very different, but much more simple. And here is one of the examples of the stickers here. So obviously, bend-wise, you do get a pretty decent bend going on here. And then if you want to, you can go to the other way around for some reason if you want to do so. And then obviously the hands are typical ball jointed hands, and then you also have a nice movement rotating point here. So yeah. Alright, now the main body, as I mentioned, once again, if you move the shoulder forward and backward forward, then this also works as a piston, which is why you see less of the gold part. So that's a small detail I wanted to mention. And the main connection here for the main waist section or main middle section, it pretty much works the same, almost the same as the 172 scale. So you do have a nice, very nice ab crunch going on here. And then when you can rotate the lower section and move it together with no problem, and probably go 360 if you want to do so. And then the top section here the connection here is very stiff, and it's also on an angle, so you are able to twist the body left and right, but also in an angle like that. So yeah, mine is a little bit stiff, so I'm being a little bit careful. Alright, now the legs. So obviously if you apply the clear parts here, you would have a different colored leg, but still the legs are also pretty well done. So once again, you can go to the side almost 90 degrees. It's just the armor parts that are colliding with the main body, and then you do have a nice side swivel, so no need to worry about that. Going forward, more than 90 degrees is possible as well, and going backwards is no problem as well. Now, once again, for me, it took me some time to get used to these type of legs because they're very different from a straight, like a straight typical human leg like this. So it does take time to get used to. So, but still, you can go forward like that, or heck, I think you can, if you can manage it, you can go 360 almost. But there is a part that is blocking the way, which is the lower section right over here. So 360 not possible, but it does have a huge range. And then, so this lower section doesn't move on its own, but still you have the ankle part that moves. So you can go backwards and forwards, and then you can also rotate the feet 360 with no problem as well. And then the way how the feet works is, once again, you do have a pivot joint, but it's not the entire ankle that moves. It's just the lower feet that only moves with the pivot. So keep that in mind. And these red parts and these white parts on the side are connected to ball joints. So you do have a nice pivot going on here, and then you get a nice toe bend. Now, because of this red part, the toe bend does get blocked in the mid process, but if you take this part off, you can go way more. So if you have to do a very specific pose that requires that toe bend, you can do that. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the kit. So the articulation is very good, and then the color separation is also well done. The structure, the stability of the kit is perfect, if you ask me. I don't think there should be anything wrong with the kit once you just straight build it. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the kit. I'll be right back with a few demonstrations. Okay, I'm back. So here is the first demonstration here. So here is the incompleted Kenbu. So as you can see, the armor parts actually do come out pretty easily. So not to the point where they would just, pop off their own, but yeah, you can easily take them off, so you don't need to worry about breaking any parts here. So as I mentioned before, this side of the shoulder you actually have to take off even off the inner frame, and here on the other side is the other shoulder with the inner frame on. So and with the extra small part there. So yeah, for those who have seen the series, you might have noticed that, yeah, why is the Kenbu like that from the episode 1? So I guess that doesn't answer your question, but still, yeah, it is possible to do so. And just to mention that I'm not going to show you guys this, but on the last page of the manual, they actually do show you how to do the parking state. So for those who remember, in the armored special carrier, the truck, in order to put in the Kenbu or Jogun or whatever, you actually have to fold them up into a certain points in a certain way. So that is actually included, which does beg the question if they are actually trying to make a bigger truck, but that would be interesting. But still, just wanted to point that out. Alright, so yeah, here you should have no problem taking off the armor, and yeah, the arms, you do need to swap out from the claw arm and take the cover off here and then attach this piece. So this is actually specifically meant for this side of the arm. So as you can see, the shape is here, so you can't really go. So if you were to attach this and the claw arm should have to go the other way around. But still, just wanted to point that out. Alright, so we've seen this one, so I'll be right back with the second demonstration. Okay, I'm back. So here is the final demonstration here. So I attached the backpack here. So here is basically the fully completed version. I attached even back the claw arm. Currently holding the gun, the assault rifle. So just want to point out, despite how heavy the gun might feel, on the trigger finger hand, there is a hole in the handle of the gun, and then there's obviously a peg there. So once you have it in the correct position, the gun should be no problem in terms of holding despite its weight. So definitely looking cool. And then there is a clear green piece into the scope. And then the backpack, obviously like the 1-72 scale kit, the weapon storage is actually still operational, so you can actually extend these storing points and then make the Kenbu or the arm reach towards the back of the weapon here. And so let me just take this part off. So with the multi-purpose hands, you can attach the katana with no problem as well. Whoops, that's a wrong position there. So yeah, everything holds perfectly well. Nothing is shaky, nothing is too wobbly. Everything is just on the right position and right, joint and stiffness. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So technically, I would like to point out, if you can go full like loadout, you can move the claw arm to the other arm and then attach the small pile driver weapon onto the left arm and go full, armament. But once again, that's up to you. But still, I really enjoyed this kit. I'm really hoping that they would make more 1-48 skill like the Jogun and Reiki, or even up to the Amaim Ghost. So that's my hope, and I really hope like a lot of people can support that. So like buy this a lot, and then people at Bandai would get the idea to do so. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, I highly recommend it for those who enjoyed the 1-72 scale. The Kyoukai Senki kits. I think you're going to enjoy this kit to this scale as well. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the full mechanics 1-48 scale Kenbu. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.